Given that the majority of Australians want a full ban on gambling advertising, what does the delay say about the power of the media and their political influence in this country?
Where did that number come from? The majority
I thought it might be me.
There you go. Go on. Tell us why gambling should be banned and how it's addictive. And tell us and completely go back on what you said about kids. Let's hear what you've got to say, Tim Costello.
Power of vested interest is extraordinary. The truth is that not only do we have the greatest gambling losses and greatest gambling harm, gambling losses per capita, but when it comes to sports betting, we have the greatest gambling losses in the world in sports betting as well. 4 times the losses of the UK, John. 1 million ads on free-to-air TV. It took a Victorian Labor woman who sadly lost her battle with cancer, Peter Murphy, to call it out. The last attempt to actually get reform, gambling reform from a Labor leader was another Victorian, Julia Gillard. And I'm saying this because one of the reasons we can't get reform is New South Wales Labor is particularly captured by the vested interests. New South Wales has 35% of all the world's pokies in pubs and clubs. 35%. New South Wales Labor has Labor pokies. Randwick and then down the Canberra Club, 30 million in pokies revenue a year, $130 million of assets. No Democratic Party in the world except New South Wales Labor has pokies interest. So there's a profound conflict of interest. And I know that when Gillard tried to reform as Prime Minister, it was New South Wales Labor members who defeated her reform. That was a cashless card on pokies. So we're in this situation where really, with a Prime Minister from New South Wales and the Minister leading this reform from New South Wales, we're up against a profound capture. They should divest of their gambling interests. And they should then say to vested interests, 72% of the public want it. I was at the Nine AGM. Nine's opening statement was, Australia lives at Nine. Since 1956, Australia lives and loves Nine. My first question was, if Australia lives at Nine, when 72% of Australians want a full betting ad, gambling ad ban, why don't you get on board? Oh, well, you know, it's profit. It's even worse with Seven and Kerry Stokes, who owns the only paper in Western Australia with all their AFL ads. So it's powerful vested interests that are still grooming our kids. We'll get a partial ban, but as Steve Kinane, who works with PK, has shown, that won't be in evenings when 7 out of 10 of the ads are being shown and kids are watching family-friendly programs. And I finished with Stuart Kenny. He founded Paddy Power, owner of Sportsbet. He said, if you want to protect kids, you have to have a full ad ban. If you want to protect wealthy bookies, you have a partial ban. Sadly, I think Albo's going to go with that.
Can I say, I don't see a bill listed, and it's the final 2 weeks of Parliament, Tim Costello. Isn't there meant to be a bill?
Absolutely. We were promised, it's over 19 months, and literally there are members of the Labor caucus, very principled members. Mike Freelander, who's a New South Wales Labor MP, has really been brave and has stood up for it. I don't think they want to bring it to caucus because they know there's going to be pushback because it's the right thing to do. I think the ban on under 16s and social media, which I've told you I support, is weird when you actually can do something about banning gambling ads and you won't.
Yeah. Well...
There you go. He finally said it for you.
Thank you.
We got there. We got there.
All we have time for. Thank you to our panel, John Ronson, Charlotte Mortlock, Tim Costello and Claire Lehman.
What's
and
next
earlier,
week?
Independent MP Zoe Daniel joined us from Parliament House in Canberra.
She checked out when the gambling thing came up? I'm joking. I want to hear what they got on next week.
I'll be with you from Sydney for our final Q&A of the year with a panel that will include former Australian diplomat and specialist on China, Jeff Raby, and Professor at the ANU's National Security College, George Brandis. Head to our website to register to be in the audience in Sydney. Thanks for sharing your...
What do you reckon, guys? Should I go? No, I'm joking. Well, that was interesting. And I do just want to say a huge shout out to everyone that was listening online. Before I forget, if you guys, and we are going to chat very briefly before we go away, but if you guys haven't got a map yet, we've sold 50 of these maps. There's only 200 of them. The election's coming up. If you want to get a hold of a map, email me at joel@thearkpodcast.com. I'm only doing 150 left of these maps. They show you, these are the MAGA maps. They basically show you the last election results overlaid with the referendum results. It shows you where the majority of our freedom people lie around this country, and anyone that's interested in politics, getting your head around it, if you want to understand where the MAGA sort of movement is in Australia, this map is for you. It's in a really nice matte finish, and I'm delivering them to you. They're going for $95 each, just so you guys know exactly how much. There's not a lot of profit in each one, but I've gone to great expense to make sure that you guys are getting the best quality product. So please email me at joel@thearkpodcast.com. And how was your first viewing, Shakeel, on Q&A in a while?
I other than that, what was his name? John.
Let's call him the Weasel.
Tampon John.
Tampon Jones.
Ronson,
Tampon Jones.
that British guy. Other than him, I thought that was a pretty good. To be honest with you, I thought that was pretty good. They exchanged their ideas pretty well.
Yeah. That was a good panel.
That was a good panel. Yeah.
I thought it was a very balanced panel. I thought every member, there was no member I was cheering on rah, rah, rah the whole time. I thought there was actually quite a lot of nuance, surprisingly. In the past, it was like the previous panel 2 weeks ago, it was completely stacked. Anti-Trump in terms of the audience and the panel.
But I'm not actually sure why that British guy was even there, because he didn't seem to have anything to add or have any experience in the topics that were actually being discussed.
Right.
He should have been on a different panel.
Yeah.
Right. I'm sure that he'd fit in quite well on some other show, but just not that particular episode. But there's a couple of things.
I hope you enjoyed that particular clip. Remember to like, subscribe, share this video, get it out there. We've got to break the echo chamber. But also, if you're trying to get a hold of me a little bit more directly, I have actually a whole membership group of people on Buy Me a Coffee. It's kind of a overrated eyebrow club that I've formed. You guys know how much I love eyebrows. If you click the link in my description or if you click the link in my bio, you will actually see a link to join the Buy Me a Coffee family that I'm building. I want to be able to share more with you guys as to what are my plans ahead of the election, what are my raw and uncensored predictions for the elections and the various bills going through the parliaments. But also, I want to hear from you guys. What are the big tools that you want to see to help you meander through the craziness that will be 2025? And what advice do you have for me? What do you think the biggest issues are? Some of the best projects I've come up with have been from your ideas. The how to vote cards, the LGBT book registry, the reparations calculator. These are all things that you guys, from chatting with you, have inspired in me to form and make. I just happen to have the means to do it. But I want to actually, be walking around with both eyes open as to what's going on in this country. And the best way to do that is through you. It's through family. And I think that's why they try to destroy the family unit in this country. If you want to join the club, click the link in my description, click the link in my bio, join the family. There's 3 different eyebrow tiers, bronze, silver, and gold. You don't have to go for the gold one. The bronze one is really good. We're going to be chatting monthly on a Zoom together. We're going to be chatting about what's going on in this country, and I'm going to be able to hear about what's going on in your lives, what you guys need, and where you see things going. And I can be a little bit more raw with you and let's just say swear a little bit more, which I really want to do. I'll see you guys later. God bless you. Thank you again for your support, and I'll see you in 2025.